All right, lads, welcome back to me podcast, Cheaper Than Therapy. Mick Thomas here. I hope you're well. Thanks for listening, liking, subscribing, sharing. Greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate all the support. How you doing? How are you holding out there? What's the world like now? I don't know. I am still on social media hiatus. Still hibernating. Not looking up anything. You know what's funny? I got an alert. You know those little red dots you get on your phone? Like sometimes they'll come out after a show. Remember those days, stand up? And I'd come out after a show and I would have mentioned the podcast on stage, or the MC would have mentioned the podcast before they brought me up. And people will come up to me and go, "Oh, you have a podcast?" I go, "How do I subscribe to it?" And I'll go, "Give me your phone." Right? And what they'll do is they'll hand me their phone and I'll just go right into where they get their podcast from and I would hit subscribe. But when I pick up their phone, it's like, you know that like red dot to show you've got nothing unopened? You've got something that's unopened. Like some people, I saw one person with 10,000 emails and I had a panic attack. Like, holy shit, my OCD is kicking in. Or you've got 2 text messages you haven't looked at. Look at them. Just look at them. So I have over on my whole social media page, which what I've done, I've put my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, even TikTok. You 15-year-old girl. Yep, that's me. And I put it all into one folder and I moved it all the way to the back of my phone. Now, I did get a notification on one of them. So as I went to look at it, I'm up to 445 unopened things. So that's messages probably for the podcast, mostly, I'm assuming. People who liked or commented and mentioned stuff on there that I just haven't checked, and I don't plan on it. But I did accidentally go into TikTok, right? Which I'm fucking I barely got off the ground with that, and now I'm done with it already. Like I just clicked in to see what this message was, and soon as you click on TikTok, what I've noticed in the 30 seconds I was on there trying to figure it out, because I don't know how to navigate through it. It's rich kids in their house trying to get their parents to be funny, dumb dancing, and I was just like, what the fuck? But like, I scroll on it, and all of a sudden, it's like, you know, police officers, what they can back into hibernation I go. Back into the cave I go. 2 more weeks of winter. I'm not... Maybe you scroll up another bit. And then the problem with black people, what they're doing is like, fucking goodbye. Goodbye. So I'm really enjoying this break from social media. I really, really am. And so I couldn't tell you what's going on in the world. But if you haven't done it, I highly recommend you give it a try. I do. I recommend you give it an old spin and see if you can go... I'm over 2 weeks now away from social media. I'm not missing anything. Do you know what I mean? You know, Seattle, fucking beep, hide again. Back under the duvet I go. I don't give a shit about any of it. I get out every day. Now, this week was shitty for me. Eating-wise, I ate like a fucking pig. I don't know why. Because my daughter is eating late at night now, and she's like, "Dad, can we get this? Can we get that?" I'm like, all right. So my discipline went out the window this week, but I've been running every day, right? Running every day, working out, enjoying myself, cleansing the mind, cleansing the soul, back to school, signing up for, and again, I still want to do a whole episode where I talk about going back to school, but also signed up for something else, which I'll talk about later, because I still might pull out of it this week. But if I go through it this Saturday and Sunday, it's another course I signed up for. But we'll talk about that down the road. But yeah, so here's what happened to me this week. Now, I'm giving you a warning up front. First of all, a lot of this is humorous, right? It's all meant in jest, in joke. So again, you can't pull up this podcast in 5 years and try fucking get me fired from a job that I don't have, right? So, but I'm doing homework. First of all, let me just kind of set this up. First of all, right? First of all, I was talking to an owner of a comedy club, down in Jersey. I'll say it, Uncle Vinny's Comedy Club. I'm talking to Dino, the owner, good friend of mine. Love the club, and so I've been doing these calls to people. How you doing? You hanging in all right? Especially the comedy club owners and that kind of stuff. So I'm getting around to as many as I can that I'm very friendly with. So I call up Dino, and he told me the story that he was talking to a police officer. And, around the time, of course, we have all these riots going on and all that stuff. So he told me that what this cop told him. He goes, Dino, he said, in all the years I've been on the force, he said, I have never seen so much, what I've been called to see, people overdosing on drugs, child abuse, domestic violence. He goes, it's disturbing what I get called to see, right? Now, having said that, I have not got to there, right? I'm not that bad with my kids yet, but all I'll say is maybe I should call the cops and have them on standby. Because let me tell you the shit that went down. Now, I'm not wanting to air out my dirty laundry, but let me tell you, this week I'm doing homework with my son, and I guess the school now they're scrambling. It's the end of the year. They're on Zoom. They're trying to put together fucking some sort of weird lesson plans, right, to get them through. But they're also trying to teach a lesson. There's also going to be morals to the story, right? So now, what are we dealing with? Of course, what's the hot topic in the news? Is of course. The untimely murder of George Floyd, and then of course with that comes the movement, the protests, the riots, the Black Lives Matter, cops are shitheads. I'm air quoting, by the way. I'm air quoting. Cops are shitheads. White people are racist. Black people are being victimized. Right? Everything. This is all that's going. So the school district that my son goes to, he's only a 10-year-old boy, decides to. I guess they wrote a story. They wrote a story that they thought, like, aren't we fucking clever? Aren't we fraudulent fucking geniuses? Aren't we Freud-like geniuses? Don't we have the gift of being able to tell a story and learn something, right? Much like the folks at Sesame Street would do, right? You're not only are you going to go on an adventure, but you're going to learn something. So I'm sitting there, and again, I'm trying to explain this the best way I can without coming across like an asshole. But so my son's we're reading the story, and now here's the thing. First of all, you don't even read the story anymore. Now it's on a computer, so the teachers are reading the story, and they're reading with these fucking god awful Long Island accents. Sorry, Long Island, but you know the cliche Long Island accent that some of you have. They have it. The teachers are reading this book, and basically, and I'm going to paraphrase the whole book, and I'm going to simplify it down to just basically what it was. And it was basically about the color red was hanging out with all the other colors. And that was it. Red was hanging out, blue was there, yellow. In no shape or form, by the way. There was no like, I'm a blue square, I'm a yellow triangle, I'm an orange rectangle. There was none of that. It was just blue and red were hanging out. So that's a fucking trip anyway. So you're just thinking of like, what are you picturing? Like a blob? A sheet of paper? Like, you need to describe something. So red was hanging out with blue, and, and red was saying, red should stick with red and blue should stick with blue. This is the fucking story, right? This is the story. I'm not making this up. I am paraphrasing, but I'm not making this up. So basically, then what happens is they said red and blue got together. My son is 10. This is for 10-year-olds. And what they made was the beautiful color purple. Right? So that was great. They made the beautiful color purple. Now, so I'm like, so now what? Do I have to explain to my son now that what? Like did they fuck? Did red and blue fuck? Did they have intercourse? Or was it just, how did they get the color purple? Right? So then we do that, and then it's like, I'm just going like, oh dear God, this is horrendous. So then the color purple came out, and then all the other colors were saying, isn't it better now that we all have this new color? We have a beautiful color purple. And then yellow and blue got together, and then there was the beautiful color green. I'm like, okay. So now I'm sitting there and I go, so this is what they want from now on? And I go, yeah. And then I said, all I said, right? You have to understand, I'm not the only person in the house. All I said was, yeah, but what happens when all the red is gone? Right? What happens when there's no more blue? That's all I said. Ha ha! Joking in that kind of way, right? So you want to just get rid of all the blues and all the... Like, what are you doing? What colour is the sky? Fucking purple? Why? No, it's normally blue, but there's no more blue left. Now, did that start an argument? Of course it did. Of course it did. A fucking argument so intense that your hero had to fucking leave the house. Had to just get his shit and leave the house. Because this idiot here, all I said was like, fuck, hey, mate, what? Don't be racist. And he went, all right. Now, did my son need to go to learn that bullshit story to realize not to be racist? Like, he's not a fucking moron. He's not a like this. Again, I'm taking my time about how I speak this because I don't want anyone using anything against me. I'm like, so what, you needed to make up this bullshit story about basically merging colors to prove that isn't the world better now that we've merged all these colors, right? Yeah, nobody's saying it's not. That's what I'm saying. So like I said to my son, son, he goes, yeah, don't be racist. All right, Dad. And that was it. My son hangs around when he goes to school. He hangs around with, he's got a black friend, a Spanish friend, a little Chinese kid, and some red-haired guy that I don't like him. He smells and he touches everything when he comes to my house. But he's fucking friends with everybody. Nobody gives a shit. I mean, trust me, I wouldn't leave them alone in the house. You know, but like, why are we having to fucking, like, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm the asshole for thinking that you shouldn't highlight this shit. You know what I mean? Like, am I wrong by saying that? And of course, now here's where the big mistake went. And here's the part where I am, don't want to be mistaken. I had a bunch of this conversation a few podcasts ago with, I spoke about a conversation I had with some of my comedian friends, who were black African-American comedians. And all I said was, I think we should stick with our own. Pause, right? Now, so I let you pause. I paused there so you guys can take that snippet and hold it against me. But here's what I meant. I don't give a shit who marries who. I don't give a shit who lays with who. If a Spanish person lays with an Asian, if a black person is with an Indian, if a Native American is with a fucking Irish person, like I don't give a shit. None of that matters. All I said to start World War III was, don't you think people should stick to their own to preserve the culture? That's all I'm saying, right? Just to preserve, like, I've seen all these celebrities now, right? Have you seen those videos out there with the celebrities talking? I will no longer laugh at a joke that's racial. You fucking, racial jokes, stereotype jokes are fucking hilarious. The amount of Irish jokes I've heard that I've fucking died laughing for. So they're just not going to be funny anymore. You fucking fake person, you. So, anyway, again, trying to get back on track. All I said was, people should stick with themselves to preserve their culture. Can you imagine cultures, right? From Asian people? Thousands of years of culture, right? That's not going to be preserved. Let's be honest. If all of a sudden you bred... Edward Longshanks said that about the Scottish. Edward the King of England, said that when he enforced prima nocta. Prima nocta was that anytime a Scottish person got married, an English lord could have sex with her on the night of their fucking wedding. And his quote was, and it's in writing, not just the movie Braveheart, it was like, if I can't get them out, I'll breed them out. So his fucking way of thinking was like, fuck it, I'll just fuck all the Scottish people out of the country. What if you did that with Native Americans? What if you bred with all Native Americans and it was just no more Native Americans? No full Native Americans. Am I wrong? Am I an asshole to think that the world would be much worse off without Native Americans? The world would be worse off without Asian people. Would be worse off without fucking Indian people. Am I wrong to say that? That's all I was saying to fucking start World War III. Holy shit. That's all I fucking said, and everything blew up. Do you get the point I'm trying to make, or am I just a fucking lunatic? Should I even release this episode? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, all I said, I don't care who fucking goes with who or whom, if I want to sound smarter on this podcast. I don't care. I don't give a shit. You don't affect me. You don't affect me. If I see a fucking black guy with a white girl, you don't affect me. If I see a Chinese person with a Puerto Rican, doesn't ruin my day. Doesn't even register as a blip. I might go, oh, look, that looks like alright, that looks like a weird couple. I never saw one of those before, but there it is. I don't give a shit. All I said was that people should kind of keep to their own, but yet invite other people in to swim in the pool once in a while. Let's have a fucking taste of that culture. Right? You know what I mean? If I'm Native American, hey, come on over. Come on over. Look at all the stuff we have. Don't put those feathers on your head. That's fucking offensive to us. But look at the pipes we smoke. Right? Get to know each other's cultures. And if you were to fucking breed every single culture together, what's going to happen? They're going to be gone. They're going to be, like, I can't even teach my kids about Irish history. They don't give a shit. And some people, and that's the argument people will say to me, they go, well, or that's the argument I got. Well, if you're Asian and the other person is Native American, they're going to talk about their cultures. Bullshit. Come on. One person is going to just, if it's boring that day, they're like, I'll go listen. I'll listen to what mommy says. Fuck it. Or if mommy starts talking about her heritage, you're like, fuck, I don't want to hear this shit. I'll just talk about something different. I can't tell my kids the coolest Irish stories. The coolest Irish history, I can't teach them about it. Because the kid like, fuck, I don't want to hear this shit. This is boring. Why would I give a shit? So all I'm trying to say is, like, I don't care. I don't care who is with who. But I just said it. Wouldn't it be nice if everybody just kind of, like, I think people should stick to themselves, stick to their own kind, just to preserve their culture, right? Packed my shit and had to move out. That's how bad it was. Pack your shit and get out. It was fucking that bad. And here's the weird thing too, right? Here's the fucked up thing about it. I was trying to get my point across, and I hope I did a good job on this podcast to get my point across, right? I find a video with Muhammad Ali talking to Richard Parkinson. Richard Parkinson was a famous interviewer over in the UK. And Muhammad Ali was talking about, like, yeah, we shouldn't be mixing races. We shouldn't be mixing them. Muhammad Ali said it. But I'm the asshole. I'm the fucking asshole. It's okay for fucking the champ, former heavyweight champion of the world, to say it. But when I say it, I'm a piece of shit. But when fucking Muhammad Ali says it, it's like, yeah, that's fine. He said it. There's hundreds of different types of birds. He goes, but no blue bird messes with no red bird. There's bluebirds, redbirds. A hawk doesn't mess with a fucking crow. He said this. But I'm an asshole. And all I said to my son was, hey son, don't be racist. He went, all right, Dad. That's fucking it. That is it. This whole fucking thing, man. It's getting bananas out there. It's getting bananas out there. And now to the point where, like, the teachers are even trying to fucking teach our kids. Look, here's the funny thing about that. If there's other kids in other people's houses, right? Like, and listen, you got, like, the family that I'm in, like, there's multiracial relationships, there's multiracial marriages. Like, that's all my kids grew up knowing. My kids' fucking friends are all different fucking ethnicities and races. You know what I mean? All that's going to happen is you're going to fucking go to some other kid's house, and here's what's going to happen. He's going to sit down, he's going to read this fucking story with his dad, and his dad's going to go, let me tell you about this bullshit, son. You know what they're trying to do, right? Like, what the fuck? Why? Why do you have to teach these kids? Because their fucking parents are going to undo the work you think you're doing. The fucking piece of shit racists out there are going to undo the fucking good work you're trying to do. Do you know what I mean? Because your kid's going to go, Dad, the red and the blue got together and they made purple, right? And And the dad's going to say, oh yeah, well why don't you fucking leave your bike in a purple neighbourhood unlocked then? Right? That's what the fucking awful fucking racist parents are going to say to that kid. All because I wanted to educate sit down and fucking just do homework with my kid. That's the shit that I had to deal with this week. That's the shit from start to finish from fucking I had to deal with all this week. Anyway, I hope it made sense, guys. I appreciate you letting me fucking rant. I appreciate you listening, liking, subscribing the show. Thanks so much. Thanks for putting up with the little commercial at the start of it. I'll leave it at that. And send all your messages to my Instagram, Mick Thomas Comedy, which I won't be answering because I'm still on a hiatus. I guess I got to give out an email address, right? I should put out my email address for to send any comments or concerns there. But I got some good guests coming up in the next 2 weeks, guys. You're gonna enjoy it. But thanks so much for listening, guys. I'll speak to you again really, really soon. I hope you're all safe. I really do. I think comedy clubs are starting to come back in the very near future. I can't fucking wait. I'll be out there banging out the hour, working on some stuff, and I hope to get to see you out on the road soon. I got Paul Verzi coming up on the podcast in the next 2 weeks. And he just got back from I think, being out in Arizona. So I'm interested to hear how that goes. And I'm sure, as you are all interested to hear how that's going to go. So, again, guys, thanks so much for listening. I appreciate you tuning in, liking, sharing, subscribing. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Spotify now. The show's kind of everywhere. Thanks so much for listening, guys. And I'll talk to you real soon. Be safe. Be healthy, and hopefully we're back to work soon. Thanks so much, everybody. Good luck to you. Good luck.